Over 100,000 people lived here. Then the city of 1,001 churches vanished from history. What could possibly make an entire civilization abandon its capital, leaving it to crumble into a ghost town? The story of Ani is not just about ruins. It's about a mystery that has puzzled historians for centuries. And the answer is far more shocking than you might think. This is the city of Ani, a jewel of the medieval world. For over 1,000 years, it was a thriving metropolis, a hub of trade routes, art, and culture. Its walls protected kings, merchants, and artisans. Its cathedrals, with their revolutionary architecture, were engineering marvels that would later inspire the Gothic style in Europe. People lived here, loved here, built their dreams here. And then they were gone. Today, Ani is a haunting landscape of silent stone skeletons. Majestic churches stand open to the sky, their domes long collapsed. Palaces that once echoed with music and laughter are now just hollow shells. Walking through its empty streets feels like stepping into a forgotten dream. How did a city so powerful, so rich, so full of life, become a ghost? Most people assume the answer is simple: a devastating earthquake or a brutal invasion. And yes, Ani suffered both. In 1319, a massive earthquake shook the city to its core, toppling buildings and cracking its mighty walls. And it's true that waves of invaders, from the Byzantines to the Seljuk Turks, fought over this strategic prize. But here's the first twist in our story. Ani survived all of that. Its people were resilient. They rebuilt after the earthquake. They endured the sieges. The city didn't die overnight. The real reason for its abandonment is something far more subtle and far more sinister. Let's travel back to the 10th century. Ani is the capital of the Bagratid Kingdom of Armenia. It's a powerhouse. Located on the Silk Road, it connects east and west. Spices, silks, and ideas flow through its gates. The city is so wealthy that its rulers are called King of Kings. They build churches that defy gravity, decorated with frescoes that still glow with color 1,000 years later. Think of it as the Dubai or Singapore of its time, a beacon of prosperity. But this success planted the seeds of its own destruction. The city's wealth made it a target. Everyone wanted a piece of Ani. The first blow came not from an enemy army, but from within. Political instability weakened the kingdom. Then, the Seljuk Turks arrived in 1064. They laid siege to the city, and after 25 brutal days, Ani fell. The accounts speak of a terrible massacre. But even this was not the end. The city changed hands multiple times, yet life, incredibly, went on. People adapted. Trade continued. So what was the real turning point? What was the event that truly broke the city's spirit? It wasn't a battle. It was a change in the world itself. A shift that made Ani irrelevant. The Great Silk Road, the very source of Ani's lifeblood, began to change. New maritime routes were discovered. Traders found it cheaper and safer to transport goods by sea, bypassing the old overland paths. Slowly, caravan after caravan stopped arriving at Ani's gates. The bustling markets grew quiet. The river of gold that had flowed into the city for centuries simply dried up. Imagine living in a city that is slowly starving. Your business fails. Your neighbors leave, seeking fortune elsewhere. The magnificent buildings start to feel like a mockery of a glorious past. This economic strangulation was the slow-acting poison that truly killed Ani. It was a death by 1,000 cuts. The earthquake of 1319 was not the cause of the abandonment. It was simply the final, merciful blow to a city that was already a ghost of its former self. There was no reason to rebuild. The soul of Ani was already gone. But there's another layer to this mystery, one that's rarely talked about. It's hidden in the city's very location. Ani sits on a dramatic, isolated plateau, bordered on one side by the Akurian River, which now forms the sealed border between Turkey and Armenia. This border is a modern political scar, a line drawn on a map that has cut the ancient city off from its cultural heartland. For decades during the Cold War, Ani was in a restricted military zone, completely off-limits. Its story was silenced, its ruins left to the wind. Think about that. A city that once connected the world is now stranded on one of the world's most tightly closed borders. You can stand on the Armenian side of the river and see the ghost city, so close you can almost touch it, but you can't cross. It is a powerful symbol of how modern conflicts can reach back in time and deepen ancient wounds. The abandonment of Ani wasn't just a historical event. It's an ongoing tragedy, frozen in political tension. And this brings us to the most surprising discovery of all. When archaeologists finally began to explore Ani in earnest, they found something incredible beneath the city. A whole other world. An intricate network of underground tunnels, rooms, and even entire subterranean dwellings carved directly into the soft volcanic rock. Some call it an underground Ani. These were not just simple cellars. They were complex structures used as workshops, tombs, and even places of refuge during sieges. It reveals a hidden dimension to life in the medieval city. When the world above became too dangerous, the people of Ani literally went underground to survive. It speaks volumes about their ingenuity and their desperate will to hold on to their home. They didn't just build towards the sky with their cathedrals. They dug deep into the earth for safety. The city wasn't just abandoned on the surface. An entire underground civilization was left behind as well. So what really happened to the people of Ani? They didn't vanish into thin air. They left. Gradually, family by family, they packed up what they could and moved to other cities, searching for new opportunities along the new trade routes. They assimilated into other cultures, their stories and heritage scattering across the globe. The great city of Ani didn't die in a single, dramatic moment. It faded away like a photograph left in the sun. Its legacy now lives not in its stones, but in the descendants of those who left, and in the architectural DNA it passed on to the great cathedrals of Europe. The story of Ani is a chilling reminder. It shows us that even the greatest cities, the most powerful empires, can fall, not just to swords or earthquakes, but to something as quiet as a map being redrawn or a trade route shifting. It teaches us that prosperity is fragile and the world is always changing. The silent churches of Ani are not just ruins. They are a warning, echoing across the centuries. A warning that nothing is forever. What do you think was the final straw that made the last family leave Ani? The dying trade, the earthquake, or the constant threat of invasion? Let me know your theory in the comments below. And if this journey into the past fascinated you, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with a friend who loves a good mystery, and subscribe for more stories of lost civilizations. Thanks for watching.